Rav Yosef Kamenetsky welcomes Chareidi Olim to Eretz Yisrael. Proudly brought to you by tribejournal.org and aviradeeretzisrael.org.
I was a Rosh Kollel in Moscow. There is still a community kollel in downtown Moscow. It's for the community. It also does kiruv. And we were trying to get a Russian-speaking younger man to come from Eretz Yisrael to Moscow. And he said only if Reb Chaim Kanievsky gives his bracha. So I went with this young man to Reb Chaim Kanievsky, and he said, no, you can't go. You have to stay here in Eretz Yisrael. And I started speaking to Reb Chaim that he knows, he's fluent in Russian, Ben Torah, and there's a lot what to do in Moscow. So Reb Chaim says, no, they should all come. They should all come to Eretz Yisrael. So I said to Reb Chaim that Avada, they should all come, but the Weiler, they're there, and someone has to work with them. No, they should all come. They should all come. So I said to Reb Chaim that I myself scream at them and tell them that they should all come to Eretz Yisrael and they should leave Russia. And I told Reb Chaim that I recently spoke and gave a mashal that when there's a kiddush in shul, there was a psanufruf, so after davening there's a kiddush. So whoever was in the shul, even if he's not a relative and he's not a close friend of the chassan and his family, but he davened in the shul, so he participates in the kiddush. He gets also a piece of kugel. But whoever didn't daven in the shul, so if on Friday he got an invitation that tomorrow there's going to be an ufruf, you're invited to the kiddush, so he knows to come, he can come. But whoever didn't get an invitation, he's not going to come, he's not going to. So I told the Yidden in Moscow that they're making a mistake. They think that when Mashiach comes, everyone's going to go to Eretz Yisrael, we're all going to be Makabel playing Mashiach. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to have an invitation. I told this to Reb Chaim Kanievsky, Zechat Tzadik Kodesh Livracha, and he said, oh, gewaldig, yeah, Avada, he was masking. This was a few years ago. Recently, I was schmoozing with a son of Reb Aaron Feldman, who lives here in Eretz Yisrael, and he was in America to raise money for a koil, whatever. And he started actually the conversation, and he was telling me that it hurts him very much that the Yidden in America, the places where he was visiting, so like Eretz Yisrael doesn't like take any place in their hearts, and their thoughts, and their minds, or like it's like he's collecting for a koil Eretz Yisrael. You're from Eretz Yisrael. You're just visiting from Mars. Very nice, like with a big smile, right? But it's not shaykh to us. Yeah, okay, I'll write you out a check, fine. So he was like, that's at the house. He was like, so I told him that when I was in Moscow, I also used to tell people you have to come to that. So I told him that I even told Reb Chaim. So he told me, he actually afterwards brought the sefer and showed it to me. There's a sefer from somebody, Rabbi Rubenstein. It has to do with Tzipisa Yeshua, to be Mechaka, to be a Mashiach. And there's a bracha from this Rubenstein's father, Zichrono Livracha, Rav Asher Rubenstein. He was once a Rebbe in Itri, and then he went with Rabbi Achesiv's brother. They started their own yeshiva. So Rav Asher Rubenstein, Zichrono Livracha, he writes a letter in the beginning of his son's sefer. He writes there that he learned in Ponevezh, and he wants, I guess at Ben Azman, he wanted to go back to America, and Reb Chatzkel told him, B'Shem the Chofetz Chaim. This is already not my vertel with a piece of kugel in the kiddush. This is already the Chofetz Chaim. The Chofetz Chaim told Reb Chatzkel that if you're here already in Eretz Yisrael when Mashiach comes, okay, you'll be Zaycha to be Makabel playing Mashiach. You're here already. But if you're not, so only the Miyuchasim or whoever Mashiach is going to call, he's going to be able to come. If not, you're not a Shaykhis, you're not here, you missed it. So Reb Chatzkel was telling Rav Asher Rubenstein Tzbacha that you're taking a risk going back to America. Maybe Punk Mashiach will come and you're going to lose the whole. So this is what he writes there in the letter. So with this I'm going to finish. that all of you people that moved here, you did a very smart move. A very smart move. And the Rebbeinu Shalom will help that Bekorov Takavishu Mekabel Pnei Mashiach Tzidkenu, and even the Yidden Chutzarts will try to get them also that they can also have a shtickle, a chelik in being Mekabel Pnei Mashiach Tzidkenu Me'er V'Yameinu.
This content was brought to you by tribejournal.org and aviradeeretz.org. You can find more talks like these at aviradeeretz.org.